One and the same tongue had first wounded me so that the blood came rushing to my cheeks, and then supplied the soothing remedy. Just so as I have heard, the magic steel of the lance that was Achilles and his father's could wound at a touch and, at another, heal. We turned our backs on the valley and climbed from it to the top of the stony bank that walls round, crossing in silence to the central pit. Here it was less than night and less than day. My eyes could make out little through the gloom, but I heard the shrill note of a trumpet bray, louder than any thunder, as if by force it drew my eyes. I stared into the gloom along the path of the sound back to its source. After the bloody rout when Charlemagne had lost the band of holy knights, Roland blew no more terribly for all his pain. And as I stared through that obscurity, I saw what seemed a cluster of great towers, whereat I cried, "Master, what is this city?" And he said, "You are still too far back in the dark to make out clearly what you think you see. It is natural that you should miss the mark. You will see clearly when you reach that place how much your eyes mislead you at a distance. I urge you, therefore, to increase your pace." Then taking my hand in his, my master said, "The better to prepare you for strange truth, let me explain those shapes you see ahead. They are not towers, but giants. They stand in the well from the navel down, and stationed round its bank they mount guard on the final pit of hell. Just as a man in a fog that starts to clear begins little by little to piece together the shapes the vapor crowded from the air, so when those shapes grew clearer as I drew across the darkness to the central brink, error fled from me and my terror grew. For just as Monterigoni, the great towers crown the encircling wall, so the grim giants whom Jove still threatens when the thunder roars, raised from the rim of stone about that well, the upper halves of their bodies, which loomed up like turrets through the murky air of hell. I had drawn close enough to one already to make out the great arms along his sides, the face, the shoulders, the breast, and most of the belly. Nature, when she destroyed the last exemplars on which she formed those breasts, those beats, which she formed those beats, surely did well to take such executioners from Mars. Beasts, oh my. When she formed those beasts. Oof. For for where the instrument of intelligence is added to brute power and evil will, mankind is powerless in its own defense. His face, it seemed to me, was quite high and wide as the bronze pine cone in St. Peter's, with the rest of him proportioned accordingly, so that the bank, which made an apron for him from the waist down, still left so much exposed that the three Frieslanders standing on the rim, one on another, could not have reached his hair, for to that point at which men's capes are buckled 30 good handspans of brute bulk rose clear. "Raphael Mahi Amek Zabi Almit," began a bellowed chant from the brute mouth for which no sweeter psalmody was fit. And my guide in his direction said, "Babbling fool, stick to your horn and vent yourself with it when rage or passion stir your stupid soul. Feel there around your neck, you muddlehead, and find the cord, and there's the horn itself, there on your overgrown chest." To me he said, "His very babbling testifies the wrong he did on earth. He is Nimrod, through whose evil mankind no longer speaks a common tongue. Waste no words on him, it would be foolish. To him all speech is meaningless, as his own, which no one understands, is simply gibberish." We moved on, bearing left along the pit, and a crossbow shot away we found the next one, an even huger and more savage spirit. What master could have bound so gross a beast I cannot say, but he had his right arm pinned behind his back and the left across his breast. That time it is. By, by an enormous chain that wound about him from the neck down, completing 5 great turns before it spiraled down below the rim. This piece of arrogance, my guide said to me, dared try his strength against the power of Jove, for which he is rewarded, as you see. He is Ephialtes, who made the great endeavor with the other giants who alarmed the gods. The arms he raised then, now are bound forever. Were it possible, I should like to take him to take with me, I said to him, the memory of seeing the immeasurable Briareus. And he said, nearer to hand, you may observe Antaeus, who is able to speak to us and is not bound. It is he will set us down in Cocytus, the bottom of all guilt. The other hulk stands far beyond our road. He too is bound and looks like this one, but with a fiercer sulk. No earthquake in the fury of its shock ever seized a tower more violently than Ephialtes, hearing, began to rock. Then I dreaded death as never before, and I think I could have died for very fear had I not seen what manacles he wore. We left the monster, and not far from him we reached Antaeus, who to his shoulders alone soared up a good 5 ells above the rim. Just trying to see who says this next speech. Yeah, of course. Alright, glad I looked. O soul, who once in Zama's fateful vale, where Scipio became the heir of glory when Hannibal and all his troops turned tail, took more than 1,000 lions for your prey, and in whose memory many still believe the sons of earth would yet have won the day, had you joined with them against high Olympus, do not disdain to do us a small service, but set us down where the cold grips Cocytus. Would you have us go to Tityos or Typhon? This man can give you what is longed for here. Therefore do not refuse him, but bend down, for he can still make new your memory. He lives and awaits long life, unless grace call him before his time to his felicity. Thus my master to that tower of pride. Thus said my master to that tower of pride. And the giant without delay reached out the hands which Hercules had felt, and raised my guide. Virgil, when he felt himself so grasped, called to me, Come, and I will hold you safe. And he took me in his arms and held me clasped. The way the Carisenda seems to one who looks up from the leaning side which when clouds are going over it from that direction, making the whole tower seem to topple, so Antaeus seemed to me in the fraught moment when I stood clinging, watching from below, as he bent down, while I with heart and soul wished he had gone some other way, but gently he set us down inside the final hole, whose ice holds Judas and Lucifer in its grip, then straightened like a mast above a ship.